Hey everybody out there in YouTube, all you horror fans, it is Little Rocker Cutie 2005 coming at you once again on the Late Night Frights channel. It is Thursday once again, it is my day, and this week it is a battle once again. I hope you guys have checked out everybody else's battles, and this week I am actually going to be doing, I wouldn't say it's kind of a unique battle per se, because most of the battles that I've seen, even before I joined up, are pretty much unique in their own way. So I do enjoy the battles, but as much as I love the reviews, I love doing the battles just a tiny bit more because, like everybody here on the channel, I kind of get to go and kind of duke out like two of my favorites just back to back. And this week, I'm going to be doing a battle of two movies that came out probably, yeah, these two actually did come out after Scream had hit, so they'd both be considered pretty much the part of what all you horror fans call the neo-slasher genre, and it's going to be between I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend. Once again, these are two of my favorites post-Scream, and the story behind I Know What You Did Last Summer, it was actually based on a book that was written in the 70s by an author named Lois Duncan, and after Scream had hit really big, Kevin Williamson had actually been tapped to write the script for this, and he was also actually working on the script for Scream 2 at the time, so he was pounding them both out back to back, plus working on Dawson's Creek at the same time. But the story behind this one kind of stays true to the book, but it kind of strays from it at the same time, where the book was kind of like a morality play because it was aimed at like probably high schoolers or, you know, kids just entering high school. This one, it is high school kids, but it's like the night of their graduation, and they're out partying, and they're on it's like this really long, like, curvy road out on the cliffs. It takes place in North Carolina, actually. So I've never really been to North Carolina, so I just know what I've seen from the movie, and this actually was mostly filmed out in North Carolina. So they're on this like really curvy mountain road, and the driver is actually no, the driver wasn't drinking, but actually before I get into like the plot, I'm gonna give you the who stars in it. You got Jennifer Love Hewitt, you got Sarah Michelle Gellar in between Scream 2 and Buffy, you got Freddie Prinze Jr., and you got Ryan Phillippe. Four of probably the hottest teen stars at the time. But back to the plot, you know, they're basically out on this road the night of the graduation, they've been partying, and they accidentally run over a guy. So, and Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, she wants to go to the police, and Ryan Phillippe's character, he pretty much, you know, talks her out of it, and they make a pact to take what they did to the grave. And so it goes about a year later, and they're all pretty much, you know, Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, she's off in college doing her own thing. Sarah Michelle Gellar, she wanted to go into television and become an actress, but that ended up failing. Ryan Phillippe, he became kind of, he was a jock in high school, so he became kind of like a college football star. And then Freddie Prinze Jr., he pretty much stayed in their hometown to kind of, because it's like it's a fishing town, so he works on a fishing boat. But anyways, Julie James, who's Jennifer Love Hewitt, she comes back home after her first year of college, and she gets this weird letter. It's addressed to her, but it doesn't have a return address. And she opens it, and all it is this piece of paper that says, "I know what you did last summer." So somebody basically knows what happened the year before, and this person, whoever it is basically just coming after these four and just taking them out one by one. But you get to probably like the end of it, and there's like I would say it's kind of a unique twist, because I will say most of the neo-slashers kind of had their own unique twist to them, and I'm trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but we can't really go into these movies without giving like a tiny bit away, and I pretty much, you know, did what I could. But basically, you know, at the end of it, you know, I won't give away who survives, except, of course, you know, Jennifer Love Hewitt survives, because her and Freddie Prinze Jr., of course, are in the next one, so they do survive through the end. But that is I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then Urban Legend actually came out after I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream, because I Know What You Did Last Summer came out in '97, and Urban Legend came out in '98. And basically the story of Urban Legend, it's about this college student named Natalie. She's going to, I think it's called Pendleton University, and there's this killer going around, and of course from the title of Urban Legend, you know, this killer's going around killing all the students at the college, you know, based on these urban legends, you know, like the killer hiding in the back seat, you know, there's the one who commits suicide, and then the person the roommate wakes up the next morning, and on the wall it says, aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light, written in blood. I'm trying to think, oh gosh, like some of the kills aren't even really like based on urban legends per se. It does stay true to the format, but there's like a couple kills that are kind of like don't hold true to what the killer's basically doing. But again, this is another one. It's got some cool kills, a unique, again, another unique twist at the end. Like this one pretty much stayed true to the Scream formula, where you don't know who the killer is and what their motives are until the very end of the movie. So, but you know, that's Urban Legend. Again, you got another amazing cast. I mean, you got Jared Leto this is long before he would quit acting and join 30 Seconds to Mars, or before this past year when he won the Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club. You've got Rebecca Gayheart, who most people would probably know from either, I would say, Jawbreaker. She had a small appearance in Scream 2 as the sorority girl. But I would think like most people from the 90s probably know her from like the Noxzema commercials back in the day. You got Alicia Witt. She's actually the lead girl, Natalie. I think after this, I don't know what other movies she's done, but I know she went on to Law and Order: Criminal Intent. You've got Robert Englund in a small role. Danielle Harris, this was actually her last horror movie for a while before she would come back for Rob Zombie's remake. You've got Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek. Tara Reid's in here. This is another one. They picked some of the best people. But now I'm going to try and battle these as good as I can, but I guess round one would probably go for the story. Like I said, you know, I Know What You Did Last Summer, basically the book was kind of a morality tale, and this one, the movie kind of turns it into like this sort of like revenge type story. And Urban Legend, I would say, it does have its own unique kind of, I will say again, it's kind of a revenge motif, but I'm not gonna, like I said, I won't give away like the twist or who the killer is or anything like that, but basically, you know, you find out it's basically, you know, for revenge. But I would say the more unique story would probably have to go to Urban Legend. I mean, most people my age probably haven't read the book version of I Know What You Did Last Summer. It was written in the 70s, so there are a few people who probably might not have heard of the book. I actually got lucky enough to read it when I was in like 7th or 8th grade as the movie was coming out. But round one goes to Urban Legend. Round two, I probably have, I'm kind of doing this a little bit blindly, but I'm going to go with the casting. With I Know What You Did Last Summer, you got two of the biggest who were on TV at the time. You know, Jennifer Love Hewitt was on Party of Five, and Sarah Michelle Gellar was on Buffy. So, and of course, you know, you got Freddie Prinze Jr., Ryan Phillippe, you got Bridget Wilson, who people know as either Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat, or I think her name was Miss Vaughn in Billy Madison. And you've got Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory, or as people my age know him as David on Roseanne. So this one does have a good cast, but with Urban Legend, again, you know, Jared Leto, Alicia Witt, Rebecca Gayheart, Tara Reid, Joshua Jackson, Robert Englund. This movie, I would say, has a bit of an edge when it comes to casting because they got some more pretty well-known people at the time. But I would have to say round two, in terms of casting, even though Robert Englund is an Urban Legend, you know, most people might not have heard of a lot of the people in Urban Legend, except for probably like Tara Reid, because she had done American Pie. Joshua Jackson was on Dawson's Creek at the time. But casting round, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Round three will have to be the kills. Basically, with I Know What You Did Last Summer, the killer's main weapon is a hook. So he's basically going around just, you know, slashing people with just a hook on his hand, and it's not even like attached to his hand. It's like one of them hooks you would use like if you worked in like a fishing factory or something like that. There actually is a scene where you see one of the characters actually using one of them. So But main weapon's a hook. With Urban Legend, it's actually a bit more unique because the killer's main weapon is an axe, but the killer's mainly sticking to the Urban Legend motif, and so the kills are just like so random and unique. There's actually like a couple of them that are just totally just amazing. I mean, you got one is like a frat guy, and basically the killer kind of ties him up in the bathroom and shoves this like a funnel down his throat and pours drain cleaner down it, and Pop Rocks, because one of the Urban Legends they talk about is Mikey, the life serial kid, the Pop Rocks and Coke thing. So that kind of comes into play with one of the kills. So round 3 for the kills, Urban Legend. Round 4, I would have to go with probably the twist endings. With I Know What You Did Last Summer, you really don't know who the killer is. It's kind of got that bit of a mystery to it. It's kind of the same thing with Urban Legend, but whereas with Urban Legend, it played more to the Scream side of it, where you didn't know who the killer was going to be up until the end. With I Know What You Did Last Summer, like I said, it's kind of a mystery, and they're basically trying to find out, who it is they killed and why all of a sudden, whoever this is, if it's the person they killed or if somehow he's alive, they're trying to find out who this guy is and basically what he did and why he's now after them. So with Urban Legend, again, like I said, they went the Scream route. You don't know who the killer is and everything up until the end of the movie, so that's a little bit, I would say, kind of a bit more unique, I would say, whereas, like with I Know What You Did Last Summer, it's more of the mystery thing. So I guess this time, even though Urban Legend's got kind of the uniqueness, I'd have to give it to I Know What You Did Last Summer for the mystery angle. And round 5, last but not least, I'm just going to go with probably overall enjoyment. With I Know What You Did Last Summer, it was one I saw probably right after Scream had come out, so I was really getting back into horror and everything, because for a while, early 90s, horror was considered dead and there wasn't really much good stuff coming out, so when Scream came back out, it just kicked it back into overdrive, and so when this came out, this was one I had to see, and it was kind of the same thing with Urban Legend. Like I said, it came out the very next year, and it was another one that everybody was talking about, so I pretty much had to check it out, but for overall enjoyment, I gotta go probably with Urban Legend. So I'm thinking it's actually a 3-2, and the winner of the battle is I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I will say this, both these movies are highly enjoyable. They did spawn franchises, but I will say this, like I've told people I've talked to, both of these, the first sequels, Urban Legend had a sequel called Urban Legend's Final Cut, and then a third one, it was Urban Legend's Bloody Mary. And with I Know What You Did Last Summer, the second one was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and the third one was I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. I will say, both of these films' first sequels are enjoyable. They are good. The third ones, take my advice, stay away from them. I mean, the part 3 to both of these, in my opinion, personally tanked the franchises. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's getting into 13 minutes 30 seconds here. I don't know how long this is going to take to upload, but I have found that due to my Wi-Fi, my shorter videos will actually upload quicker than my ones that are longer. So I'm actually filming this kind of pretty early in the morning. So once again, it's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre. I'm coming at you on the Late Night Frights channel. I'm telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, enjoy some Starbursts, keep the horror going, guys. And as my faithful partner on my own channel, Buffy's Eating Man, or as some of you guys who follow my channel know him as Chris, he always says, eat some chicken. I'll catch you guys next week on Late Night Frights. See you later, guys.